Welcome to our executive interview series at the UiPath on Tour Public Sector Summit produced by FedScoop. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here with Captain Dan Rogers, Deputy Chief Data and AI Officer for the U.S. Coast Guard. Captain Rogers, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
First, I'd like to ask, what are the most significant cultural or organizational shifts required to integrate and scale automation initiatives within government agencies, and maybe more specifically, the U.S. Coast Guard?
I think one of the difficulties is that we think of these things as new, as if there's a different way of doing business compared to what we've done before. And so we have this idea that it takes a cultural shift to actually implement new technology. But I'll just give you a history on the Coast Guard. So way back when the revenue cutters were commissioned under Alexander Hamilton, one of his requirements to those original revenue cutter COs was to write them letters about what happened around the ports, which is data. So he would have them write these letters, and he was super informed as the Secretary Treasury because he knew the happenings on the major ports. So it's not that data is new or the way that we're engaging it is new. So the way you engage the culture is you talk about not why this is different, but why this is a better way to actually do what we've always done. So here's some new technology. We're going to answer particular needs. The difficulty is, one, that they think it's new and therefore a change. And then the second piece is just how well they understand it, whatever that technology happens to be. So you got to marry those two up. This is more of what you want, and it's not as difficult as you think it is. One of my frustrations a lot of times when you start talking about data is the first thing that people say is, well, you lost me when you said data. So the lack of a desire to actually understand what we're actually trying to accomplish.
So next I'd like to ask, could you share specific examples of how AI and maybe specifically agentic automation can significantly impact your organization's operations, and what key factors really contribute to its success?
So first, robotics process automation is deterministic, whereas agentic is non-deterministic workflows with tools. So one of the goals that we have inside the organization is, what are those things that we can do deterministically? And one of the great successes that we found is actually in the financial management system. So we have a lot of overall orders that have gone in, requisitions, it's going through the various wickets, but we have some duplicate entries in a lot of those things. So we were able to use bots to actually get rid of a lot of those duplications, which then frees that money up for use, because you have to have the funds to be able to obligate the funds. So by automating the overall release of those funds, we're able to better use the funds that we have and not lose them, which is a central aspect of what we're trying to do as an organization. On the agentic side, what we'd like to see is capabilities develop or capacity development. So for those overall tasks that are repetitive, man, it would be really nice to add a team member to whatever group of people is doing that work. And the agent, the agentic AI, can be that team member. And then the fact that it's non-deterministic workflow means that the people that team, the agent working with the team, is able to come up with, hey, between these various options, what kinds of things should we do? And then we can improve the overall workflows of those various teams. So that's how we're using it.
Terrific. Well, Captain Dan Rogers, thank you for taking a few minutes to join us here at the UiPath on Tour Public Sector Summit.
Thank you.